Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. I'm really pumped up to bring this video to you because this is where we're actually starting to quantify what the heck I've purchased. This is the cheapest electric car for sale in the country. At least it was, because I bought it. I paid $3,750 for this 2012 Nissan Leaf, and it's got about 78,000 miles on it. I've been daily driving it for a bit. And what I want to find out is A, how long does it take to charge? And B, how far does it go once it's fully charged? So I'm going to walk you through all the testing procedures. Normally we do different videos of our range test and the charging test, but I thought, hey, this isn't really a car can actually cross shop. It's very unique to this specific vehicle. We have some racing aero modifications over here that will affect this car in particular. So I thought, let's just see what I bought and see if it was a good or a bad deal. But for $3,750, I have to say, I've made some videos about this as well. As a daily driver, it's been truly wonderful, rock solid, hasn't given me any issues at all. And the battery still has 66% capacity from new. So I've been able to do some actual driving with it. I'm pretty impressed. Let's see what the numbers actually say though. So let's talk about our testing procedures. I've taken our Nissan Leaf over here to our DC fast charger that we use when we do all of our range tests and things. And one interesting component about this car, which some of our viewers may already know, is this car does not have AC charging. The onboard charger has failed, which means we need to DC charge the car only with the CHAdeMO port, and that bypasses the onboard charger and just directly charges the battery with direct current. We are going to replace the AC onboard charger. That's a project for another video at another time. But I've been driving this for the last 2 weeks. I've made a whole video about how great it is. So here's what I did. I wanted to first record the 0 to 100% DC fast charging log, and I'm going to play you that log and walk you through how this thing charges momentarily. But just to walk you through how I did that, I warmed the battery up a little bit because it did need some heat in it, and I have Leaf Spy, which is an app that tells me all the nerdy data about the car. Big fan of Leaf Spy, and a huge shout out to the creators who made it. It's really a wonderful service to Leaf owners. I drove it up the highway. Thing does 94 miles an hour, allegedly, at least indicated. Were you having a hard time keeping up in the e-tron, Alyssa?
Oh, 100%. This beast she thirsty.
Yeah, thirsty and slow. I think I was smoking you in the Leaf.
No, yeah.
Anyway, at least let me believe I was, because I was flat out the
Allegedly.
whole way. Allegedly.
Yeah.
So then I drove around here until I was coasting in at full throttle, and then the car pretty much died. It wouldn't even go into gear. So I was literally as far out as the battery would go. Leaf Spy was indicating, I think, 2% state of charge, or basically they said there was 200 watt hours left in there. So with 200 watt hours, the car shuts off completely. So that's our bottom when I'm about to do the range test. I know not to go below 200 watt hours because that's when the car completely shuts off. I am really concerned about the BMS logic on this Leaf though, because this is now the second time I've had it complete charging at 90%. So basically what I'm about to play you is 0 to 90% DC fast charging, and then the car said, oh, I'm actually done. So I'm going to play you that momentarily, and then you'll meet me back here, and I'm going to explain how we're going to finish off the rest. I want to say a huge thank you to Sparrow World for sponsoring today's video. Hey, these guys are doing something pretty incredible. They are supporting our forgotten Afghan allies through this wonderful charity, which you can find on freedomraffle.org. All you have to do is purchase a $150 ticket, and you're immediately entered to win a Tesla Model S Plaid. Guess what? Sparrow World already has the Plaid, so as soon as you win the raffle, it shouldn't take long for you to get the car. On top of that, you have the best chances ever that I've seen of winning one of these cars in the raffles that we've done here. And that's because Sparrow World has only sold about 20% of their tickets coming up to their deadline. So all you have to do is head to freedomraffle.org to support our forgotten Afghan allies by purchasing some tickets. And of course, you're entered to win that awesome Model S Plaid. Best of luck, and thank you to Sparrow Worldwide for sponsoring today's video. So here we are, just wanted to show you the full charging curve. I really like ChargePoint's app because they lay out exactly how it charges. And this is the type of charging curve I actually really like to see. You can see it's going max current until it reaches its peak, which is, Let's take a look. 50 kilowatts. It was right in there. That's awesome. And then you can see it just kind of slowly comes down until it reaches 90% and dies. The thing is, these numbers are all pretty small. So again, we plugged in completely dead and got 32 kilowatts right on the start. So that is just, max amps. Pack voltage was nice and low. It walked its way up to 50 kilowatts, and then it slowly just walked its way down through the percentage range, again, ending at 90% for this session. I've actually noticed as well, I think the Leaf's just programmed to end at 90% when you start really low, because when I plug it back in at 90% every time, it charges a bit more. But even after the sessions that I did yesterday, I tried it again and it does complete at 90. So that's an unplug and replug situation. Might help save the battery some wear and tear. Come back over here really quick. Also wanted to show you it took 37 minutes. I'm going to add up all the time here at the end, but it took 37 minutes to go from 0 to 90%. As a percentage of charging, that's really quick. Again, we only put in 14.42 kilowatt hours, and I would say this added term isn't correct. That should be delivered, because of course there's always losses when DC charging. So my guess is we really put in 13 and a bit kilowatt hours throughout that session, but 37 minutes to make it charge with a peak at 50%, really not bad. 50 kilowatts. This car charges like a monster from 0 to 50%, and then from 50 to 90, yeah, it takes some time. From 90 to 100, really takes some time. And you'll see here in just a second, we have to do plug and unplug, just to top it all the way up. But again, this is the first time I've truly full charged the Leaf. So let's go back to the station now that you kind of have an understanding of how it charges. But I would say for my use case, this is totally fine. I can leave it at a charger, grab some food, come back. I'm at 90% and I'm good for another couple days of driving. So now you've joined me after watching the charging test, which we just completed. I actually drove the car, did a couple loops around the parking lot, floored it a couple times, filled up the tire pressures to the recommended 36 PSI, because we're about to leave on the range test. And what I'm going to do is reinitiate a charging session here. So I'm going to open up the CHAdeMO port. I'm going to get the thing starting to charge, and we're going to basically see what happens from 90 to 100%. Again, this car doesn't AC charge, so the range test has to be what the car can do. And last time it stopped at 90%, I was at an Electrify America station. It only put in like a couple hundred watt hours more before it was like, oh, I'm actually done. I think the car might be a little confused, but this is what the car will do. So let's top it up. The e-tron is all topped up to 80% state of charge. Alyssa was just here helping me film, so we decided, hey, let's throw it on the charger. I've just activated this one. In we go. Let's see what happens, because there's no way on the early Leafs to actually set the maximum charging limit. There's no setting in this car. Unlike, I believe, some of the newer Leafs, I could be wrong, but this thing should be programmed just to go to full, and I have it set to immediate charging. So here we are. It says it's charging. It's at 90%. It's pulling pack voltage up a little bit. 20 kilowatts at 90%. It doesn't do that. It'll fall down here pretty quickly. But what I'm going to basically do is just let this thing charge up full. And then once it completes, I'm going to head out for
Our range test.
the 70-mile-an-hour highway range test of the Leaf.
70 miles an hour.
Now, what I'm also interested in doing is seeing what this thing will do around the city on a full charge, since that's more my use case, not taking it on the highway. But I do at least want to quantify it on the highway. You can see we're already down to 15 kilowatts. And putting in, a couple hundred watt hours there, but showing 91% state of charge. Let's take a look at Leaf Spy and see what that has to say. Going to open up the mighty Leaf's interior. I'll grab my Android phone and let's see what it says here. So it is showing, okay, we're putting in 12 kilowatts. We're at 87.1% state of charge. I don't know where this 60.1, maybe that's based off of a full 100% capacity battery pack. But what I don't understand is this says 87.3 and this says 92. I think Alyssa is leaving. Not sure where she's going. Bye, Alyssa. I think she's just making room at the charging station. But basically it's showing 13.2 kilowatt hours left in the battery pack. But it's still doing 10 kilowatts. So let's let this thing complete. If I pull up some other screens, that's a little bit of temperature. Here's our cell brick voltages. Okay, that's the screen I was looking for. Here we go. yeah, state of health 66.58%. One thing I really like about Leaf Spy is it shows me each of the bricks, and we have a pretty balanced pack, I would say. 26 millivolt difference across the entire thing, and I'm not seeing a consistent low spot. Of course, we have some low spots here, but we're talking about 0.01 volts across the whole thing, and you'll see they're jumping around a little bit. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with this, but I'm curious because we have people who understand the Leaf battery pack more than me in our audience. What do you guys think? This is while charging, and we're at pretty high state of charge, obviously, because we're in the 4 volts, 4 volt range per cell, which is pretty high. But now it's saying 94%. We're still doing 4.3 kilowatts. So maybe this will go fully to 100% state of charge. And it was just sending weird signals to the charger. I don't know. Never seen that from another car, but I'm hoping that we can see close to 15 kilowatt hours left in the battery pack. That would make sense based off of the 66% state of health. We'll see what happens. And we have literally just completed now. We put in another 2.1 kilowatt hours in 25 minutes. This thing's saying 97.4 and very close to 15 kilowatt hours. That's what I was expecting. So this number must be based off of full charge. I'm going to plug it in one more time just to see what happens. If we can squeeze another little bit in there, I'm going to give it a minute to sort of balance out the pack. Plug it back in, and then if not, I think we just leave and do the range test. Alyssa, you'll be standing by just in case it happens to run out of charge, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go head over to Family Dollar to see if they have any chargers. They're trying to get $20 for like a little tinky charger.
You mean a charging cable for an iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now after that last time it just completed, let's go in here. Trailer full of hunting dogs. Pretty cool. And that's a really cool setup that he's got there. That's pretty sick. Let's just see what it says here, if it'll even allow charging. I gave it, I don't know, 60 seconds, 120 seconds, something like that. The Leaf just beeped, and it is flashing up here, which means, okay, it is asking for power. And look at this. We are putting power in. What the heck? Okay, I'm just going to go till either this thing explodes or we can't get any more energy in there. And I think that's our final run. We didn't even get 100 watt hours in that time, but 0.78 in 3 minutes. That's really, that's something. That's measurable. But I'd say where nears makes no difference. Topped up at this point. Let's go see what this thing will do at 70 miles an hour. I guess I'll walk you through some of the procedures of setting it up. I already set the tire pressures as mentioned, 36 PSI all around. All right, let's go over here. Let's just double check everything on Leaf Spy before we crank up the Leaf. Yes, my password for this phone's all 9s. Here we go. 14.8 kilowatt hours left. Tire pressure is looking good. Let's see. We have 97.6% state of charge according to this. I'd be surprised if we see more than 40 miles. I'm thinking 30 something. All of the data here. Let's take a look at our battery temps. Pretty warm, but not too bad. Anywhere from 94 to 102 degrees Fahrenheit. That's very reasonable, I would say. Not anything crazy. 28 millivolt separation. That's looking good. I mean, the thing's looking great. So let's talk about how we're going to get it set up. First stop, seatbelt on. Secondly, headlights off for as long as possible. I expected to do this earlier today when it was a bit warmer because it is getting slightly chilly out. Car on, headlights off. It is 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It's predicting 49 miles, but wait, I haven't even put it in efficiency mode yet. We're going to hit OK on this. We're going to go to the energy info. We're going to go auto to 68 degrees. We're going to go into reverse, and we have to set a trip odometer. Reset B. Trip. Hold and reset. Boom. The speedometer, I need to make sure it's calibrated. There's a lot to do. Into drive, into eco, 50 miles in eco mode with climate control on. And you can see climate control is not even using much power at all, but we always run at 68 degrees auto. So off we go in the Leaf on the range test. Oh my gosh, never thought I'd be doing this. Got the window tint here. I've never been a Leaf guy, it's no secret, but I just like the car because it's a way to show what you can buy for $3,700. It seems like a lot of car to me. Let's just coast on out this way. What we're going to do is get the car up to an indicated 70 miles an hour at the end of the on-ramp. I'm then going to confirm with our GPS speedometer. I've even gone so far as to bring my laptop and charge my phones off the laptop. Therefore, we are not pulling any extra power from the Leaf. I want this thing, I want a big number out of this car. We do have the racing arrow modification on the back. Of course, it's only going to improve the range, and the big dent that's going to create some drag, but let's not worry about that too much. Gentle accelerations here, eco mode on, 0.2 miles driven, no regen at all. You can see that using all service brakes, nothing going back in, but for the most part, we are coasting. Let's hope we can make it on the highway. Almost no traffic, perfect conditions for this, really nice conditions. Here we go, swing it on. Oh yes, going wide, racing line, and just gentle power as we make our way up. I really love the position of the speedometer in this car. It's right in view, really great. Might need a little bit more throttle just to get it up to 70 miles an hour. So here we go, 50, 60, we need to hit 70 at the end of the on-ramp. Come on, Leaf. I'm not floored, but it feels like I am. 70. I've never used cruise control in this car. I don't even know how. Right here, cruise on, set. Yes, set at 70. All right, let me make sure that that's the exact number and I'll be right back with you. Battery temps are looking good. 72 miles an hour indicated is 70 miles an hour constant. Quite loud in here from road noise, mostly tire, no wind noise. Very, very interesting. It tracks dead straight on the highway. We're on some of the loudest pavement, but wow, does this thing just feel like a cruiser. I mean, I've had it on the highway, again, up to its maximum speed, and it feels so well built. I just couldn't imagine a better, more solidly put together package for the money. And this is great. So the hard part will be figuring out the turnaround point. Since the Leaf isn't really great at showing state of charge, I do have the Leaf Spy app. So I'm probably going to turn around with 65% state of charge, just because the exits are really far apart here. And yeah, don't want to have to push this thing too far, although that would be pretty funny. It is a beautiful night here in northern Colorado. Couldn't ask for better conditions. It's a little bit chilly, 56 degrees out now, but almost no wind. Really a still evening. Cruising along, battery temperature looking good. Maybe one titch to the warm, but that's okay with me. Overall, range is looking pretty good. We do have a pretty big uphill to start, so still over 3 miles per kilowatt hour predicted. That is very efficient, I would say. We are at 82% state of charge according to the Leaf Spy. Again, when it shows 0.2 kilowatt hours remaining, that's when it shuts off completely. So we're going to try and get it to 0.2, 0.3 remaining at the end of this. And you can see our climate control, certainly using the heater a little bit. I'm not using the heated steering wheel or the heated seats. Again, the whole point here isn't to simulate how I'm going to use the car. It's just to put it in the same test as we run multiple EVs, so we can get a pretty good idea as to where it falls in line. I imagine it will be the lowest range we've ever tested. We are now approaching our turnaround spot. I don't think there's any way we'd make it. I'm just kicking it off 70 miles an hour. It's doing a little bit of regen up to the stoplight here. We are at 59.9% state of charge according to the car. The car says turn off climate control for 1 more mile of range, but we actually are regenning here pretty good. Better than I've seen before. I feel like just draining it down may have enabled the regen. Here I am hitting the brakes. It's blending more regen in, so that worked out pretty well. Look at that. What we're gonna do is kind of cruise through this intersection here. Doesn't look like anyone's coming. And we're going to jump back on going the other way. The most insane views on the planet over here. I mean, this is great. And I really love these short range tests because I don't have to spend all day. I started this thing at like 3 p.m. This is great. So now gentle accelerations back onto the highway. We still have more than 50%, of course, but the problem is just the way the exits are spaced, we would run out if we went up another one. And I think if we go down past ours, we might run out as well. So I'll just be taking frontage roads after this initial loop to drain the thing completely out. But I think that'll be a good plan. Got to get it up to 70 miles an hour. We're creeping our way there. 65, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, and locked in. Man, this thing cruises great. So comfortable, beautiful views. The wind noise is so shockingly low. The build quality is great. The suspension is so smooth. I mean, it just amazes me that we're still evaluating cars that can't reach what this car can do, even all these years later, or maybe just matching. Range, of course, kind of sucks in this. But I'm just so happy with this purchase. 77,999 indicated here on the dash. When will we hit 78,000 miles? We'll have to have a little celebration for it when we cross the number. Hey, 78,000! Woo! Beautiful views to celebrate. All right, we'll stop honking. It's going to kill the range. I have just had to kick the headlights on. Surprisingly, this car does have, I believe, xenons or maybe even LEDs, but there's certainly a blue hue. This is a maxed out optioned Nissan Leaf, and according to the previous owner, he did not change the light bulbs out, so I believe it is stock. The problem with running 70 miles an hour is we go the same speed as trucks, and it's a bit of a shame. But we still have a distance to go because, of course, we were going downhill this last little bit. And I'm thinking I'm going to run it past our exit and then take the frontage road back up. That way we can extend the amount of time at 70 miles an hour cruising as much as possible. So I think that's going to be our plan. Let's see if we can scooch over here now that we've passed the truck. Absolutely we can. And I don't know, this thing's showing 41% state of charge. I'm thinking we go for it. We just hammer past our exit. Worst case, well, we'll be just leaving it on the side of the road. And here we are passing our original exit. I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about this. I'm not totally convinced. It's 12 miles round trip. It's only predicting 11 miles, and we've been going downhill a little bit because it's 6 miles to the next exit. The car says we have 5 kilowatt hours left that we can use, and we're at 36% state of charge. So my best reaction here is we're going to go down to the next exit, hop on the frontage road, and hopefully we don't hopefully we don't run out. I'm going to keep it at 70 for as long as possible, but I got to let traffic go by. So we're drafting a little bit. The Nissan Leaf getting a little cheating right here. Well, maybe now he's out of drafting zone, but damn, this is a little bit scary. Let's see what happens. We have just passed the Budweiser distribution, or factory I should say, kicking it off of 72 miles an hour here. Oh man, I don't know if we'll make it back. The car says 7 miles. It's showing 3.9 kilowatt hours left. I think we can do it. And I'm thinking, well, so we just got our low battery indicator right here. I'm thinking we take the highway back. I don't know about you guys, but it's actually probably safer just to take the frontage road. It runs right alongside and there's no stop sign, so I can maintain 70 miles an hour as well. But if I run out, then I'm not in the middle of traffic. So let's just coast on through here. And yeah, we'll take the frontage road back. I've never actually done the frontage road here before, but getting dark pretty quickly. And yeah, I believe it's the next one is the frontage road. Yep, where that truck is. And then it just goes right alongside. So let's try it out. Let's do it. Turning onto the frontage road and getting our speed up to 70 miles an hour. There's the Budweiser plant, and this is a much less traveled road than the highway, so I think we'll be much safer out here than we would be if we broke down on the highway. But again, 6 miles remaining, and it's 6 miles back to the charger. We do have to do that climb up and over the highway once we get over there, but we'll try it out. So let's ease into the throttle, get it up to 70, and cruise on over. You can see here we're pretty much going right next to traffic. Makes no difference either way. Actually, less of a shoulder here on the frontage road than on the highway, but at least there's little driveways and pull-offs, but we don't want to pull off into that little ditch. The car is predicting 4 miles of range. I believe it's 5 miles now to the charger, so not sure what's going to happen. We're at 21.7% SOC. I think we'll be okay, but yeah, we're really stretching this 70 mile an hour range right here. I'm liking it. Cruise control, having to add more power, but we might get into power limiting. I know turtle mode should kick on here pretty soon, and at that point we may not be able to maintain 72 indicated miles an hour. We'll see. If you take a look at this overpass here, I actually believe there's a way we can loop up and get to the other frontage road on the other side of the highway, which is where we typically run the cars out of battery. And in that case, we don't have to go all the way up and over the highway. So let's actually, whoa, should have used a little bit more regen there. We're gonna racing line this thing, carry as much speed as we can through here. Thankfully didn't use too much friction brakes. That was mostly regen. We're gonna go up and over the highway here and that will be much safer. Now we're running it out on the road that I'm familiar with, and we have still a little bit energy in the pack to do the climb to get over, because the turtle mode in this thing really does limit the power, as I just found out. It was the first time I hit it just earlier today for the charging test. So just gentle acceleration up here, and yeah, we've done 70 miles an hour all the way to this point, 41.1 miles so far. That's a way better result than I expected. Holy smokes, really not bad here. And it's not like it's a 70 plus degree day. It's getting pretty chilly outside. It's 52 degrees right now. So here we go, the frontage road leading over to the Come and Go. We basically just crossed the highway. And this is, you guys are familiar with this section now. We have run EVs out of charge many times on this road over here. So I think we'll cruise at 55, maybe 60 miles an hour, something like that, because that's pretty much all she'll do. That's full power right there, 30 kilowatts. And I don't want to just keep it pinned. So I think 55 miles an hour for the rest of the test will be pretty reasonable and pretty fair, considering what we do with other EVs when we get down to about 3 miles of charge. We typically run under 70 miles an hour to drain out the packs. We have just gotten dash to empty. It's come up with very low battery, but this is one thing I don't like about the Leaf. There's no user communicated state of charge. So thankfully I have Leaf Spy running. I can see I'm at 12%. I have another, 1.5 kilowatt hours to burn or so. But we're just cruising along here at 55 miles an hour, like I told you guys. And I don't know, all seems to be pretty good. I haven't seen turtle mode yet, so I think we're actually gonna probably make a U-turn around here and then just coast it in, regen the pack a little bit. We're just gonna coast it, U-turn, go back a little bit until we're down to about 1 kilowatt hour remaining, and then we'll coast it into the charging station. Hopefully we don't run out, but we got to get everything out of it. You actually joined me right back to where we just flipped around. I did the whole loop back and the thing is still going, so let's do it again. We're gonna make a full U-turn and get it back up to 70 miles an hour. We haven't even hit turtle mode yet, so we're still good to go. Car says there's a 1 kilowatt hours in there, so we have about 800 watt hours to play with before it bricks. It's showing 5.2% state of charge. So let's accelerate gently back up to speed now. Now I'm going to be pretty gentle on it, but still throttle down, and we can flip around at any of the points up this way. I think when we get down to probably 0.5 kilowatt hours left in the pack, that's when we'll flip around and head back. But it's still showing 4% state of charge, and we still have, good enough acceleration to get up to 45 miles an hour. So to me, that's a sign to keep going. This is awesome. Battery level low, no charge over here. Battery temp is looking good. Outside temp, a little chilly. Maybe that's good for having a passively cooled system here, for being charged and discharged, and it's about to be charged again. So that's probably not too bad for the Leaf overall. Just cruising at 55 through here, still motorway speeds for a lot of people. We definitely have a little bit of BMS confusion here, because you'll see our SOC is down to 0.6%, but the Leaf hasn't even hit turtle mode yet. So I do not know what is going on here. Definitely a different behavior than when I drained it for the charging test. For the charging test, it was completely out, but I'm gonna go back to the Circle K and just make sure, or not the Circle K, excuse me, the Come and Go. What am I doing? Watching too many Bjorn videos, I guess. There's Alyssa in the e-tron. She just went by. So you can see she's on the brakes, make it flipping around. Okay, so she came to check on us. But weirdly, very different behavior from all the signals here. The car's not in turtle mode. It's showing 0.5 kilowatt hours left, 0% state of charge. But look at this. If I give it the beans, it's still outputting pretty good power, 40 kilowatts right there. So let's just go to the Circle K, or excuse, why do I keep saying that? The Come and Go, and see what happens. I'm just keeping, as always, pretty high rate of speed through here in case we need to coast in. But I'm thinking, oh, it's actually completely out now. There's turtle mode. I'm floored, and it's dead. Dead. Okay, wild. My foot is to the floor, so I think the Leaf was confused as well. Now is the question, can I make it to the charger? Because we are out of power completely. It is not outputting anything at all. So good move. We turned around there. I think we can do it. I'm just going to rip into the Come and Go station like this. Here we go, sending it. It has literally no power. I'm floored. We're just coasting. What the heck, Leaf? You're supposed to tell me in turtle mode what's going on. And we made it back. Oh man, that was freaking awesome. 2 times in a row I pulled in at wide open throttle. 0.1% now. It looks like it had to recalibrate, but basically completely out. It shut off at 0.2 kilowatt hours remaining, now 0.3. Yep, it won't go into gear. So we really are completely out. It beeped and that's it. It will just go into neutral. So this thing is completely bricked, completely dead, out of charge. Here comes Alyssa. I think she's probably thrilled she doesn't have to push it. Let's turn the car off. Hell yeah, it made it. How's it going?
Good. We're all waiting to try to go to dinner.
Oh yeah, who's that? Michaela at our house?
Michaela and David are both at our house.
I pulled in
it's not.
floored.
We're going Hobart.
It's completely dead, just like the last time. Guess how many miles it did? You're
Guess how
usually
many
good at
miles,
this.
Michaela?
40. What do you think, Alyssa?
58.
Nope, you're off by 8 miles. It did 50.2.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to get it charging up now. Oh, and the police are pulling someone else over. Not me, in the Leaf. Holy crap, that was freaking awesome. Man, I love it. But it's dead as a doornail right now. Is that the term? I don't know. Let's get it charging. And there we are, plugged in and charging. 42 kilowatts. It'll walk its way up. I'm actually going to compare this charging curve versus the first one. But, man, the little Leaf, it was a little confused down there. No turtle mode at the end. Oh, 2 cops pulling over someone over there. But a little confused. No turtle mode, pretty good power. And then it just was like, nope, done. So something in the past pack must have hit bottom voltage to stop that. But man, impressed with the results. So there you have it, the full charging and range analysis of the Nissan Leaf. I'd be really curious to see our around town range. I bet we could get 75 to 80 miles out of it if we hyper mile it around town. If you're curious to see that video, let us know. We're going to pump the tires up to 50 psi and see what the most amount of range we can get out of our Leaf is. I think that would be a really fun follow-up to this one here. But now we have the baselines all set and there's more we can do. In the future, I'm looking forward to potentially upgrading the battery pack, enabling some vehicle to load or vehicle to grid through the CHAdeMO port, and maybe even, I don't know, going crazy with it. We'll have to see what the future holds. But there you go, the Nissan Leaf, 50 miles of range on the highway. That's impressive. 2012, 78,000 miles, and that's pretty good. I bet the state of health is actually higher than what the Leaf Spy app is telling me. Maybe it just needed to recalibrate and learn what's going on. Maybe not, just a theory. But there you go, the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Alyssa is waving goodbye behind the big tints on the e-tron, and we'll see you on another one soon. Epic day. Bye-bye.